These roads intersect, on each one I reflect. These lines write my story.
Welcome everyone, I am One True Brick, coming at you with another LEGO Exo-Force review. Today we will be looking at set number 7706, the Mobile Defense Tank. This set released in 2006, it contained 365 pieces, and retailed for a price of $30. And I'm very happy to say that, thankfully, that price has not changed all that much. When you're looking at eBay or Bricklink, you can kind of expect it to be around $35 to $40, and if you're really lucky, you can snag it for $30, around the same price that it was when it came out. Now, I'm just going to preface this review by saying this is one of my favorite Exo-Force sets of all time. It had a lot of awesome pieces, it had a lot of great functionality, and it had a really neat story aspect to it, which made it just kind of a great all-around set. As you can see, this set is piloted by Rio, the same character who pilots Uplink, and this set was designed with a similar color scheme to that set. So it has that orange and white theme with black and gray as well, and then also there is a little bit of blue along the sides, as you can see here, and a sprinkling of other colors. So one thing that I want to just jump in and say right away is this set is a tank, so you kind of don't expect it to have any other functionality other than, you know, an ability to roll back and forth. And I'm sorry it's not rolling super great on this surface, but it can roll, I promise. But it actually has a lot of other great posability and functionality, and I think that's a really great design feature by the person who created this set. I think they really thought about how maybe the Sonic Phantom or some other sets throughout the waves didn't have a whole lot of posability, and kind of one of the big things of Exo-Force is being able to pose it in a way that makes your set feel unique from others. So as you can see right along here, there are these large torpedo missile launcher things. I actually don't know exactly what they're called, but they have full ball socket posability. So if you want to make the tank kind of bunch up, you can bring them in close, and you can bring the turret in close, and it'll just feel condensed and bulky. But if you want to have it splayed out, you can also do that and have them be pointing out. You can have the turret kind of up, and it gives a lot of nice feature to a set that normally you wouldn't expect to have something like that. In addition to that, you can also adjust the tank tread, so you can bring it down kind of like this if you wanted to, or you can raise it way up high to like right there if for some reason you wanted to. I personally think it gives a lot of ability to pose it if you have it on a rough terrain that's not flat like this. There we go. This means that the set has a lot of playability feature to it that you normally wouldn't get. One other thing to note, there are a couple other functional parts. You can, of course, rotate the treads. This cockpit door can open up, and you can see Rio's inside. You can launch discs, as I showed last week in the Bridgewalker vs. White Lightning set, and honestly, my opinion on that still stands. It's not a great designed part, and often has an issue of when you flick it, it launches discs not very far, and stuff ends up coming out the top, and it's not a super well-designed piece, and I wish they would have thought it out a little bit better. And then, of course, the standard gimmicky feature of having the laser piece on the side here. Especially with this set, it feels tacked on. It has a similar design to the Sonic Phantom and the Striking Venom and some other sets, where it just kind of feels like it's been thrown in there for the sake of checking a box. And one thing to note with this, and I'm not really sure who gave the okay on this, but this piece right here on the side that is attached to the laser, I'm going to pull it off here for a second. If you look right here, this is technically an illegal building technique, and what that means is that it can actually damage the part over time. And I will actually say, over the time that these two pieces have stayed together, it has become impossible to get them apart because you are not meant to put a rod through this Technic piece. So now they are actually stuck together. That's really unfortunate. I really don't know why they didn't do something similar to how they did it in the Sonic Phantom, where they had a different Technic piece, or maybe just forgone it altogether. It doesn't really add a whole lot to the set and actually damages the part, which is a bummer. One other thing that I want to touch on that is not necessarily illegal, but something that I think was an oversight by the designer. This is true in the Sonic Phantom and the Thunder Fury, as I showed previously. Sticker placement. So I don't mind stickers. I actually very much like them because it means you can put them on a different part and add characteristics to a particular piece that normally wouldn't be there if you were to purchase an extra sticker set or got an extra one for free with the set. And that is when you have a sticker crossing over multiple pieces. So as you can see, right along here, there's these kind of vent parts, and they actually cover over, I think, a total of 4 pieces, meaning that either you lose the ability to have those stickers there, you peel them on and put them back on, you take them off and put them back on, kind of like I have. You can see they're actually peeling a little bit because of that, or you just make the decision to never ever take apart those parts. And I think that's really frustrating, especially because Exo-Force has a lot of that alternate building and combo models feature set that makes it so unique. And it's really frustrating to have parts like that because, especially nowadays, it's very hard to find a replacement. I was actually looking to see if I could find some replacement stickers, and either I was going to drop like $12 for a sticker, or I was expected to just buy a whole nother set. And that frustrates me a lot. Now, another interesting thing is, and this is just a small mistake in my opinion, in the instructions, it specifically shows this character, whose name is Swift, being inside the cockpit down here, and then Rio being on the cannon, when in the storyline, Rio was typically the one piloting, and Swift was the one on the cannon. So I have switched it in my review, so if anybody's looking at this and being like, well, why isn't Rio on the turret? It is because, story-wise, it makes more sense to have them flipped like that. So, of course, as I mentioned, one of the things that makes Exo-Force so unique is its alternate models and combo models. And, of course, this set has one of them. So I'm going to quick show you guys. There's the instructions. Now, as you can see, this is kind of falling apart. This was definitely one of my favorite sets to build, and it shows in the instructions being so worn is the fact that I built it so many times. And in the back of every instruction manual, you will find a nice alternate model. And this is actually one of the cooler alternate models, in my opinion. It is called an Advanced Tactical Unit, and I think this just looks really cool. It's got a similar design to some of the $15 sets with opposable arms, but then replaces the legs with treads. And I think that's a really cool design. So if you guys get the set, keep in mind that you will be able to build that. And I also believe there was a combo model shown in a LEGO magazine. And I'm actually going to see if I can go find that real quick. You could also combine this set with the Silent Strike, a battle machine included in the Sentai Fortress, to create a battle machine called Magnalink. Now, I would be remiss not to take a look at the minifigures. And as you can see, as I mentioned previously, this character's name is Swift. And Swift was a character that was rescued by Rio during his mission to go save Uplink. He found him in the mines and took him along with. So, as you can see, there's Rio's character. He has the same design as seen in Uplink, same torso print, same face and hair, and then of course you get that alternate facial expression on the back, the more angry or serious looking one. And then Swift here has the same character design as the figure from the Gate Defense, and technically is interchangeable with the character of Tech. And tech is just kind of a generic term for anybody in Rio's team. So this could be just considered just a regular old character in the Exo-Force team, or you can have him specifically represent the character of Swift. And he has a black hairpiece, like Hikaru's, and then has a back print on his face. And this is actually, as I mentioned in the Gate Defense set, the same face and hair as Hikaru. The only difference being that it doesn't have the visor across the face. So keep that in mind. Now, one of the things that I like to do when examining a set is to consider its story relevance. And honestly, this has one of the best stories for any battle machine. There was a lot of story buildup to this particular vehicle. Over the course of Exo-Force's first year, Rio really wanted to design a battle machine that could go toe-to-toe, or I guess wing-to-wing, with the Sonic Phantom and just about any other enemy that you might see from the robot's side. And so he specifically built this vehicle to go against that. It was built and first driven when Uplink was captured by the robots, and so Rio decided to give it its first test run by driving it across the mountain to rescue Uplink. And it was noted that it had a lot of different weapons that could all be used against different types of enemies. So it specifically used its missile launchers against Sonic Phantoms and Fire Vultures. The cannon on top was really good for taking out Sentries and occasionally Thunder Furies. And then it even had the light disc launcher on top to deal with some of the more advanced units that the robots had. It was used to rescue Swift from the tunnels, as I mentioned earlier. It was the first recorded use of a light disc launcher, which makes me think that Rio was probably the one who invented this particular weapon, as it was seen on the White Lightning and the Sentai Fortress's walls. So, kind of makes sense that Rio probably designed it, as he was the head of his division. Speaking of which, a lot of people ask me what these letters on the side mean, ATO2. The AT stands for Assistance and Technology, so they're kind of the repair group, and the O2 means the second unit designed by that for and by that team. So Uplink being the first one, this one being the second. And then, sadly, the mobile defense tank was destroyed during the Striking Venom battle, leaving Rio only Uplink to use, which was as sad as the destruction of this vehicle was. Rio was glad that Uplink was still around to use. So, I thank you guys very much for watching this video. If it wasn't already obvious, I highly recommend this set. If you are looking to get a medium-sized set for your collection, this is probably my favorite one to recommend. Just keep in mind that sticker placement. You might need to get a second copy of them if you can, and be careful as you apply them, or if you apply them, that just know that you will have to deal with peeling them off or keeping those pieces together. So I will see you guys next week when I take a look at one of my not-so-favorite sets, the Striking Venom. Thanks! Bye! It could still have that spider-like look without looking like it's about to fall apart. Believe me, it kind of does. So